Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. That guy's Nick, I'm Theo, and this is the podcast, the Drafted Up Podcast. For all you new listeners, we're a podcast that focuses on the projection side of the NFL, whether that be fantasy or the rookie class coming in. The rookie class, long done, April. We'll do 2025 draft class well in the future. Now, our prime focus is fantasy football. As we dive into the NFC divisional previews, we just finished up the AFC. You can go back, listen to those episodes to get our thoughts on the AFC teams. Today, we start the NFC with the NFC North division. For all you visual guys, I'm sure you could have told that by the Vikings hat and the Vikings jersey that I'm wearing. Nick, how you doing, dog?
I'm doing good as always. Can't complain. A lot of football stuff done today. We did a lot of re-rankings, a lot of restats. So we're deep in it at this point.
Yeah, I just finished my full restatting of guys. I know you're almost done or are done, and our buddy Merck, shout out Merck, he's done his or tweaking his as we speak, and we'll have our three-way consensus, but podcast is just us, so we'll focus on ours. NFC divisions, I think I'm excited to talk about all four of them.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited to talk about NFC for sure.
Yeah, there's fantasy relevance in every division. There's not many lull divisions here like you got in the AFC, which we said in the AFC previews, like AFC real top heavy, NFC a little more balanced. So this will be fun to talk about as we start up north. So let's dive right in there with last year's NFC North division winners. That was the Detroit Lions. Straight from the Motor City. Last year, they went 12-5. Currently on DraftKings, they have plus 135 to win the division. That is first. With a projected win total of 10.5, they were fourth in passing, fifth in rushing. We've said it before, you want to find those offenses that have a lot of pieces and get pieces in that offense. Detroit is one of them.
Oh yeah, Detroit is stacked, dude, from like backs to tight ends to receivers. To even Jared Goff, dude. I love Jared Goff this year, dude. He's sitting pretty at my QB 10, so I love Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff is currently my QB 14. He's my QB 14. He is our consensus, I believe, QB 12. He is in our top 12. So Jared Goff, he is slept on. You can get him late. We'll start him. His current ADP is the 10th round, 1004. He's going as the 14th quarterback. So I'm on par with his current ADP. Consensus wise, we're ahead of the game at QB 12. But if I miss out on one of those top quarterbacks, I love getting Jared Goff and pairing him up with an upside guy like Jaden Daniels.
Oh yeah, that combo is perfect for me as well. And you know what you're getting with Goff 8 of the 16, 17 games at home. Every time Goff steps on the field at home, he's pretty much a lock, dude. Like, you play him when he's in Detroit. I love Detroit's offense this year. We can move on to the backs with Gibbs and Montgomery. I love both of those guys.
Yeah, quick note on Goff, the road games, like I know his home road splits are insane. I believe like over half his road games this season are in domes. So it could be a huge year for Jared Goff. You want to keep that little information handy that Jared Goff's going to be playing a lot of indoor football games, which means a lot of points for Mr. Goff, former first overall pick for the Rams, who's made a nice living over there in Detroit. I do love the value, like we said, but let's dive into the backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, strong running attack last year. David Montgomery, he's currently going as the RB20. His ADP is 603. We're a little ahead of the game there. We have him at RB17. Jahmyr Gibbs, his ADP is going at the beginning of the second round, first pick of the second round, so the 201. He's going as the RB5. He's got a little bit of a hamstring issue going on right now. Right? It was hamstring? Yeah, yes. Hamstring or ankle.
Yep.
Either way, he's not practicing anymore. He's shut down for the preseason. A little worrisome because, like, when the injury broke, like, there was talks like he might miss time. And the way Dan Campbell's been talking, like, it didn't seem very positive. Like, the way they're like, oh, yeah, we expect Gibbs to be back week 1. Not a real big vote of confidence. And Gibbs was a little banged up last year as well. And if either one of these backs get hurt, you're getting a top flight fantasy running back, whether it be Gibbs or Montgomery.
Oh yeah, whichever one goes down, the other one steps up tremendously. Gibbs is a little bit undersized, so he did get banged up a little bit last year, and he's already a little bit banged up this year. So I did end up dropping him a little bit when I did my re-rankings. He's my RB9 now, but I still love Gibbs. He's going a little bit early, but at the back end of like the first or even the early second, I'm cool taking him depending on how the running back board falls. And Montgomery, he's a lock for like all the goal line touches. Not all of them, but a good amount of them are going to go to Montgomery. There was a bit of a switch come like mid-season last year where
when Montgomery came back from injury, yeah.
It did split a little bit more into Gibbs' favor, but Montgomery still got a good amount of the bulk. So he's a good red zone threat. So I love both their backs here in Detroit.
Yeah, I agree. And they're one of those few teams like I'd be fine having both guys on my roster, just like Miami with like Achane and Raheem Mostert, because they're both you're drafting Gibbs, like you're trying to draft him at his ceiling with a boom year, so you're trying to project that, and then Montgomery's a good floor guy, just like Mostert. Like they're going late, they're good values. Montgomery, he's one of those few guys you can like almost project locked in for double-digit touchdowns. Like Jamal Williams did it 2 years ago in Detroit. David Montgomery last year's first year in Detroit got double-digit touchdowns. I have him projected for double-digit as well. Like I think that's something you can lock in. And with Gibbs, he could be in line to be the second receiver essentially. Like Jamison Williams, we'll get to him. He's kind of flighty. Like you don't know if you can trust him. Whereas like Gibbs, good hands out of the backfield, can work the slot. Could end up being the third passing option behind Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta. So that does give him the upside, which in PPR leagues, I think that's where you see like him going so early.
Yeah, full point PPR Gibbs should be like a back end of the first round kind of guy, early second. So right around his ADP, because his catching ability is crazy, dude. And Detroit's going to end up dipping it down to him a lot. Because like you said, Jamison Williams isn't that kind of receiver where he's reliable. So someone's got to be the check down guy.
And Williams, his style of play isn't necessarily that to garner a lot of targets. Like he's a big play guy, and those guys don't get those 100 plus targets. Whereas Gibbs can work underneath with Amon-Ra, so provides a lot of upside through the passing work and becomes a real value in fantasy. And then, like we said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he might be the safest wide receiver in PPR, like him and Tyreek Hill. Like CeeDee Lamb's got the contractual issues going on. I expect him to play, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is a monster, and he got touchdown upside last year, where it's like before, like it was like 5, 6 last year. He got 8 or 10 touchdowns last year from Amon-Ra. And if he can keep that up, he's easy top 5 receiver every season.
Yeah, I'm super confident in Amon-Ra. He should be wide receiver 3 or 4 taken, depending on however you want to look at who's right behind CD and Tyreek. I have him wide receiver 3. He's a surefire kind of guy, and we play full point PPR, so Amon-Ra's a lock, dude.
Yeah, it was 10 touchdowns last year for Amon-Ra. He's currently going at the 108 as wide receiver 5. So, and our consensus, we do have him at 3, both of us. So I think he's a lock right there behind. Like if he went 3rd or 4th in the draft, I'd be like, I get it. Like super safe guy. Like you want your first pick to be just like a safety valve, and bearing injury, I can't see Amon-Ra not finishing in the top 5 at the wide receiver position.
I totally agree. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not out here predicting injuries. So I'm looking at him playing a full season, and with Jared Goff at quarterback, he loves Amon-Ra, dude. He's super safe. The connection between the two of those is amazing to watch. And then you add Sam Laporta. Hopefully Jamison Williams can step up a little bit. I do see his targets, and I see all of his kind of numbers going up: targets, receptions, yards. Because his season last year was not anything to be impressed by. But you're essentially going off what he can be, what you've seen it in college in Alabama, and you've seen it in spurts, very few and far between in his 2 seasons he's played already, right?
Yeah.
So he's already going into his 3rd season, and he hasn't done much of anything. But his talent's there, dude. So he just needs to be trusted. And it sounds like Detroit does trust him more than the past. Like you've heard them in the past, like he needs to earn his reps. He needs to earn this, that, and this. This season, it's, Jamison Williams is on the field. He's looking good. He's they sound like they're praising him a little bit to where they
Yeah.
haven't in the past.
Yeah, normally those coach speak stuff, you take them with a grain of salt, but like Detroit's been brutally honest about this dude, saying like, oh, he's got to be better, like he's got to earn his way onto the field. And like you saw the talent, like his first year, he only played like 2 games and he burned Minnesota on like a 70-yard catch, which was like his first career catch for a touchdown. The dude's so explosive, highly touted coming out of Alabama. He was my wide receiver 1 coming out, and Detroit took him at 12. Like the talent is there, and the upside is definitely that like he's finally like earned his way onto this team. Like you said, like they're praising him, they're giving him the ups, and like Amon-Ra's been raving about him. So like James Williams, a good sleeper pick, like still going late. It's not like his ADP's been boomed because of his talent.
Yeah.
Like he's currently going at the 10:02 as the 48th wide receiver off the board. I'll take that dart throw for sure, even though like I don't see the big boom year. Like I have him right around wide receiver 48 in my own rankings, but he could easily burst into a high-end flex guy this season. Like the talent is there, like you said.
Yeah, he has the touchdown ability for sure, which would get him to boom up these rankings. If he's able to finish with 8 touchdowns, he's going to finish way higher than wide receiver 48. That's just how it's going to work out.
Yeah, super volatile player. Definitely a great grab in best ball as well, if that's your cup of tea. And like I said, definitely worth the risk in a redraft situation.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
finally for Detroit is Sam Laporta. He finished last year at the tight end 1, the rookie tight end last year. Big year from him. He's currently going at the 303. He's going as the tight end 2. He's our tight end 3 currently. The ADP is a little rich for me for Sam Laporta. Like I don't like being the first guy to take a tight end, and
I agree.
It's him and Kelsey going like relatively close to each other. Like they look like they're the first 2 guys off the board. And I'd personally rather wait till the 4th or 5th round and grab like Mark Andrews, Trey McBride, or Dalton Kincaid in that range, or just wait for Evan Ingram.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way when it comes to tight ends. I'll let someone else battle for the first couple, and then I'll take. In my eyes, there's 8 really solid tight ends, 9 if you want to count Jake Ferguson. He's touchdown dependent, but between Kittle to Kelsey, those 8 guys on my rankings, I'm happy taking any of those 8. So I would let the tight ends kind of trickle and see how the board falls to me. But hey, man, if you want to reach on Laporta because you think he's going to repeat again, I see no gripes about it. Kelsey used to be a first round pick, and he used to be the first tight end taken. Now the first tight end taken is going round 3, so it's already 2 rounds later. If you want to feel the need that you would just want to take a tight end, Sam Laporta is not a bad option.
Yeah, so, I have Sam Laporta as my tight end 1. So like, and he's going in range with like guys like Nico Collins, Deebo Samuel, who else is going there in the 3rd? Josh Jacobs, who we're going to talk about later. Like, so like I understand calling the shot. I mean, like, I'd rather just try to get the advantage at the position because like I'm unsure about the receivers and running backs on the board. That I'm going to throw my hat on Sam Laporta and just hope he repeats what he did last year, which double-digit touchdowns, 80 catches, like big year. And I think he's going to get close to it. I don't expect double-digit touchdowns. Those are a sticky stat to hit, but like he is the second option in this offense. So it is plausible.
He's a lock for the second option for sure. But the 10 touchdowns and having under 1,000 yards is kind of a concerning thing because he's also touchdown dependent in that sense of a matter. So he needs to hit on his touchdowns, but I can definitely see him having more than 900 yards. He could have 1,000 yards. It wouldn't surprise me. But he's my tight end too, so I don't know how he's our tight end 3. That doesn't make sense to me.
It was when we did my
old rankings.
Consensus was our initial when we had Kincaid higher. But gotcha. Sam Laporta, there's a realm where like Sam Laporta is like the modern version of Rob Gronkowski, where he like doesn't need a ton of yards and he just gets the touchdowns. Like the touchdowns could end up being a sticky stat for him, considering he is like the second option. Like he'll always be the option 2. Like they're not looking to replace him in the passing game. So like I think there's a realm where he comes out and gets 13 touchdowns again this year. And like that is my bold prediction, is that Sam Laporta has more touchdowns this season than he did last season.
Yeah, that would not surprise me at all. It's on the table. It's in the realm of possibilities. And again, it's the Jared Goff thing. Like, he trusts Sam Laporta at this point. You've seen it already last year with his rookie season. The connection was there right off the bat. And him, Amon-Ra, and Laporta, being Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, and Laporta, they're all super, like, the connection's super safe between those three guys. So they're great options.
Yeah. A lot of good fantasy options coming out of here from Motor City, Detroit, and then Khalif Raymond's the third receiver, but bearing injury, even if Jameson Williams doesn't hit, I don't see Khalif Raymond being too involved. Like,
no.
Yeah, I wouldn't even look at his way. Even with an injury, like if Jameson or Amon-Ra go down, I just think that just bumps Laporta and Gibbs. I wouldn't even throw a waiver wire claim at Khalif Raymond.
No, I
haven't. Or Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's also there.
That guy's a bum. I have Raven at wide receiver 85, but he's way down there. He's nothing to really talk about.
I have him at 87, so we're pretty similar. All right, let's move on to the Green Bay Packers. Last season, the Packers were 9-8. Current betting odds to finish in second at plus 230 over on DraftKings with a projected win total of 9.5. They were 14th in passing, 15th in rushing. So middle of the pack offense last year. Jordan Love looked great. Like, he looked to take that step. We've talked about Jordan Love, how, we're trying to predict CJ Stroud to step into the next level when, like, Jordan Love did that already. And, like, I feel their ADP should be switched. Like, CJ Stroud should be going 9. Jordan Love should be going at 5. And I think that'd be more reasonable just based off last season. But, like, I get trying to hit on the next big quarterback. But Jordan Love got paid. Like, I love this passing game. I don't much so love the running game. Jordan Love, his current ADP, he's going at the 7-11. Always open. QB 10. He's our QB 9, so we're a little bit higher. But in our mock, I took Jordan Love, and I was content with it, and I will be content with it come draft day if I leave and Jordan Love is my starting quarterback. I think he is going to have an incredible season.
Yeah, I agree. I have him as my QB 9, so that would make sense for us to have him there. He's super safe with the passing options around him. I love all 4 of the receivers. I can't remember a time I've done a mock or even a real draft because it is draft season. I walk out with a Green Bay receiver every single time. And I don't care which one it is.
All 4 of them are valuable.
Yeah.
Like,
I
none
love
of them,
all 4 of them.
Yeah, none of them are getting like a big boom. Like, we'll dive into the receivers first. Like, we'll
we might as well get there. Yeah.
Jaden Reed, he's currently the wide receiver 1 for this team. His ADP is 6'11. He's going as the 34th receiver. Christian Watson, his ADP 906, going at wide receiver 51. Romeo Dobbs, camp praises this guy, and that happens every year. He's been the so-called, like, the option. His ADP is 1102. He's going at the wide receiver 51. Dontavian Wicks, his ADP is pretty much your last round, 1506. He's going as 68th off the board at wide receiver. And like you said, like, I'm way okay taking any of them at their ADP, even above it. Because, like, I think there's a world, like, I would draft all 4 of them.
I have all 4 above their ADPs. I'm content with all 4 of them. Reed, especially, I have him at wide receiver 27. I have him right on the cusp of the wide receiver 2.
I have him at wide receiver 24.
Yeah, he's one of those receivers. Just he can separate. He knows how to run routes, and he's just a great wide receiver. And then Watson, if he can get it together and stay healthy, he's the boom guy. He's a great touchdown option for Love. I would love to see all 4 of these guys stay healthy and really love to see what they all can do.
Yeah, I have Wicks and Dobbs pretty much at their ADP, like, ranking-wise, 50, 68. And then I have Watson a little bit above at 39, and I have Jaden Reed at 24. So I'm a little higher on Jaden Reed, which I was surprised because, like, I've always seen myself as a Christian Watson guy because, like, I just love those big, volatile wide receivers. Like, you've heard me talk about Brian Thomas Jr., like, similar style. But, like, I don't know. Like, I think there's a world. Like, I might try to run a league tonight. Just join one of those random Yahoo or ESPN leagues and just try to draft all 4 Green Bay Packers receivers.
See how it goes?
Yeah, like, just see how my team works out there. But, yeah, I want a piece of this offense passing game-wise. And then the piece we didn't talk about is Luke Musgrave. The tight end there. He's going at tight end 17, ADP 1209. I'm fine with Musgrave as like a streaming option. He's not exactly the guy I want to leave with in my draft. Like, say I draft TJ Hawkinson, he's not the other tight end I want.
No.
Because I think he's the one who's going to be affected by the depth of the wide receiving crew.
I agree. He's going at tight end 17. I have him at tight end 23. Someone has to take the hit at the ADP, and it's Luke Musgrave. But I also like Tucker Kraft a ton. I have him above his ADP. I have him at tight end 33-ish. So I think they're going to use a bunch of them. They drafted both guys. So I think they're going to be a lot mixed into the offense. It's not going to be all Luke Musgraves.
Yeah, Musgrave got hurt a bit last year, and Kraft came in, who also got hurt. And he played well. Like they're both like serviceable streaming guys. I have Kraft's Musgrave similar to you. I have him at 22. And I got Tucker Kraft at not ranked. He's there. I just can't find him.
I remember when both guys came out, I had Kraft ranked higher than Musgraves. I was a huge fan of Tucker
Kraft coming out.
Yeah, for sure. So I would love to see how he fits into this offense.
I have him below. I have him at 43. I found him.
Yeah. The tight ends are going to take a hit on the ADP if anyone takes a hit.
Quick to round out the receiving crew here. Which one do you want? You have to pick one of them. Which one are you going on as being like the guy this year? I know you're big on Wicks, so that
which one's gonna be the best?
Most valuable.
Most valuable? It's gonna be Dontavius Wicks.
Wicks. Yeah. I still think it's gonna be Jaden Reed. Like I have Jaden Reed 10 spots above his current ADP in his positional ranking. So I'm gonna go with Jaden Reed. I actually think Romeo Doubs might be the one who finishes last just because he's the boring one of the trio.
But his floor is so safe.
He's got the best floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not the best ball one. I don't want him in best ball. I want the other three in best ball.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Packers run game. We've been notoriously low on Josh Jacobs.
I think we've mellowed out a little bit. It's not nearly as bad as it once was.
His current ADP is 302. I ain't touching that. He's being drafted
RB what?
RB 11, and that's
see, that's so crazy, dude.
So when we did our initial running back episode, Josh Jacobs was my RB 24. He was your RB 26, I believe. He missed our cut. He was our RB 25 on consensus. I have since mellowed a bit. He is my RB 19.
Oh wow! I have him higher than you now.
Look at that.
I have him 17.
If I can get Josh Jacobs in that range, I'm in.
Yeah.
But at almost a top 10 running back based off the year he had last year, I don't know why that's not scaring people away. Like, I get he got paid and he's 2 years removed from being the leading rusher in the league, but last year he looked terrible. I get it.
He was bad. He was bad last year.
I've been low on Vegas. Like, I want nothing to do with that offense. Even if Josh Jacobs was still there, I wouldn't be touching him. Like, I'd probably have him right around the same ranking at RB 19.
Yeah, I agree. I think him being in Green Bay isn't much of a boost per se for him. Green Bay runs a ton of two-back system. It doesn't matter if it's Lloyd or Dillon. It's going to be one of them. They seem to be pretty down on Lloyd right now. He has the fumbling issues he had in college, in camp, and in preseason games already.
And he's hurt. So, he's got a hamstring injury.
He's
so like not a good off season or a good start to a career here for Marshawn Lloyd. Like I was in on him as like a sleeper.
Yep.
Like his ADP still, he's being drafted. He's drafted at 1305, running back 49, which is right about where I have him. I have him as my RB 50. AJ Dillon not being drafted. He's currently, if you're doing deep leagues, he's being drafted as the 67th running back. I
have him.
I will never touch AJ Dillon. Like, he's got a great look, but he is a terrible running back. I have him at 64, so I'm higher than ADP on AJ Dillon. I do expect Dillon to be the second back after Jacobs for a little bit. Like, and I think that's why I'm a little higher on Josh Jacobs. Like, I don't see a total spelling just because, like, I don't think Marshawn Lloyd, they're going to trust him right away. And AJ Dillon is just so ineffective. He's like way more ineffective than Josh Jacobs was.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think they're gonna that's the system they use. So they're going to force some other running back into this. And I think it's just going to be a combination of both Dillon and Lloyd. Like, it's not going to be both. They're going to combine to be the other running back.
They're just going to eat at each other. And
yeah.
Nice.
Like, I have both of those guys. Like, I have Lloyd a couple spots under ADP. I have Dillon right at ADP. And then I have Jacobs at 17, which is still way lower than his ADP.
Yeah. We're still low on Josh Jacobs here on the Drafted Up podcast, but higher than we were last month.
He's gone up a little bit.
Yeah. If any of the receivers get hurt, which is a possibility, Jaden Reed was hurt last year. Christian Watson was hurt last year.
Yeah.
Wicks, you see Wicks stepping in. Is there any chance Bo Melton squeezes some target? Like, he looked great last year when he got in. Like we didn't even touch base on, because like he's not being drafted, he's not being talked about. He's the 5th receiver. Then like no team yields 5 relevant fantasy wide receivers. That no teams really yield 4. So like Green Bay's in this territory to feed up. But like Bo Melton, brother of Max, who I loved coming out of Rutgers, looked great. Like, he looks the part too. Like Wicks, Melton, and Dobbs, like they're the 3, 4, and 5 essentially. Could be wide receiver 1 or 2s most other places. Like, that's how deep this receiving room is.
I don't know about 1s, but 2s definitely. Romeo Dobbs is a great number 2 option.
Yeah,
and
I think Wicks provides like 1 upside. It's just
I agree. Wicks is a lot like Tank Dell. He's very undersized, but his separation game, his route running, his burst, he's an amazing receiver. You've seen it in college. You've already seen it in the pros already. And Jordan Love loves Dontavius Wicks. Like, he's constantly looking his way whenever he's on the field. So Wicks' upside is crazy, dude, in Green Bay if someone happens to go down.
My bold prediction for the Packers, I don't even know if it's that bold. Jordan Love wins MVP.
That's a good prediction.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. This might be the most boring team in this division. Which kills me.
Yeah, for sure.
JJ McCarthy, as you guys know, he's out for the season. We talked about that last episode. So it looks like it is Sam Darnold's team the whole year. Sam Darnold is not being drafted. He's in the leagues he's going at the QB 33. Sam Darnold's never really had weapons, and now he has the best receiver in the NFL in Justin Jefferson.
So, did he not have DJ Moore?
He had DJ Moore. That's it. Okay. And DJ Moore's stat line, like, if you spanned it out, 17 game stat line for DJ Moore under Sam Darnold, it was 85 catches for 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns, which are serviceable numbers.
Fine.
And Justin Jefferson is, no disrespect to DJ Moore, a lot better than him.
Yeah.
So Jefferson, he's going, his ADP's at the 104. He's going as the wide receiver 3. Historically, we've seen like guys, like talented wide receivers who get a big downgrade in quarterback. Look at Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They got downgraded with Baker Mayfield. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett got downgraded with Geno Smith. And all 4 of those guys, for the most part, did really good. Like, Chris Godwin was fine. He just didn't get touchdowns. Like, Mike Evans had a great year. You're not getting that discount with Justin Jefferson. Whether that be because Justin Jefferson's the best of the best, or if like people just aren't like Justin Jefferson's quarterback proof. And he was like, he was great last year with Mullins and Josh Dobbs. Like, I wish Jefferson was being discounted, but he's not. So I'm somewhat out at 4. Like, I would take Amon-Ra. He's my wide receiver 6.
It's because he's too good. I have him at wide receiver 7. I have him lower than where he's going, but it's Devontae Adams all over again. He's too well respected for him to fall based off who his quarterback is. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. He's still going to go, like, Devontae Adams going in the second round. Justin Jefferson's going in the first round. It doesn't matter who their quarterback is, but I do have Jefferson lower than his ADP. He's going wide receiver, what? You said 4?
3. He's going wide receiver 3. He's going at the 104.
So he's going where Amon-Ra should go. I would take Amon-Ra, Chase. I would take those guys over him. A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
I trust their quarterback situation just more than Sam Darnold is the problem.
It's the trusting of the quarterback, and those are good offenses, and it's safety guys. Like, you want your first round pick you want it to be safe. Where
Mhm.
Justin Jefferson carries the risk of Sam Darnold. Now, I think part of Jefferson not really falling also falls into Kevin O'Connell's system. I think it's just that the community trusts that Kevin O'Connell is going to have a productive offense no matter who's back there, sort of like Kyle Shanahan, which huge props because I love Kevin O'Connell. I've seen people say like JJ getting hurt has bought them another year and now these guys aren't going to get fired. If the Vikings would fire Kevin O'Connell after this season, it would be ridiculous because that dude is going to be a huge factor in developing JJ McCarthy. And like we see what the offense did last year without Kirk Cousins. Like they were first in passing, 29th in rushing. They were 7-10 without a real quarterback. They're currently projected to finish in last with a win total of 6.5 projected wins. But I think the Kevin O'Connell offense is fine from a passing perspective. Like I still would take Justin Jefferson in the first round. I would more so shy away from Jordan Addison though.
Yeah, what's his ADP?
Jordan Addison's currently going at the 801 at wide receiver 39. I have him at, I believe, 49.
49
in my rankings.
I have him at 43, so just a little bit below.
I do 43 as well.
So we have him just a little bit below, but that's still like a kind of high 38. If he can fall a little bit, I'm fine taking him because I loved Addison coming out. He's extremely talented. It's just the whole Sam Darnold thing scares the hell out of me.
A lot of Addison last year was also touchdowns. He hit 10 touchdowns.
Oh yeah,
he's 800, 900 yards.
Kirk knew how to hit him when they were playing together, dude. Like he loved Addison, and he really knew how to use him.
Yep.
Sam Darnold's not that guy, dude. Like it's just not gonna happen for Addison. I think he's gonna be fine-ish. He's gonna have close to 800 yards and probably like six touchdowns. So it's gonna be a fall, 6 to 7 touchdowns, just based off his talent.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you said, Jefferson's still a first-round pick. I just prefer to take him in the back end of the first.
Yeah, I don't like him going where he's going now. I would prefer him at the back end.
Mm-hmm.
With Addison, though, he's also got a looming suspension. Like he might get suspended. He got a DUI. This guy, he's frustrating. Super talented kid. He's just got no brains.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's worrisome. And also like a lot of his numbers were also without Justin Jefferson last year. So when Justin Jefferson was in, Jordan Addison wasn't as productive. Now, that could just be Justin Jefferson. And I think like with a lesser quarterback like Sam Darnold, I think he's going to hyper fixate on Justin Jefferson. I think that hurts Sam Addison. Jordan Addison. And then that leaves TJ Hawkinson, who's the tight end. He's probably going to start the year on IR. So definitely. His ADP currently is 1002. He's going as a 13th tight end off the board. I'm fine with that, especially if you have an IR league. Like if you don't have an IR spot in your league, don't take TJ Hawkinson. Excuse me, because he's just wasting a roster spot. But if you can, picky him into your IR spot and draft a guy like Pat Freiermuth, or if you want to go with an upside guy like Jonnu Smith or Tyler Conklin, go with one of those guys and just rotate tight ends till Hawkinson's back, because a guy who also warrants targets, he'll get them.
I'm glad you mentioned Tyler Conklin. He's been
a guy I've had. 14, baby.
Yeah, dude, I've had him right there the whole time. He's my tight end 13, and you gave me shit the first time I had him ranked so high. But yeah, if you don't have an IR spot, don't look Hawkinson's way. It's not worth it. But if you could just dip him onto your IR and run a rotation until he comes back, he's not going to be super productive like he was last year, but he's going to be fine. Like he's a good tight end. He's a safe option for Darnold, so that's what it's going to come down to.
He's like a higher end Evan Ingram. Like he just gets a ton of catches. Like I think like his first year with the Vikings, he was like on pace for like 120 catches and under 1,000 yards. Like the dude just hauls in catches, and he'll do that with Sam Darnold or Nick Mullins or Jaron Hall. God forbid that guy has to play. Do you think Darnold starts the whole year, or do you think he ends up getting replaced?
I would love for you guys to trade for someone like Winston or someone who can actually get the ball to these guys, but I think Darnold's your guy, dude. If
the Vikings got Jameis Winston, I'd say they could compete for a playoff spot. Like, Jameis Winston just throwing the ball, because like Kevin O'Connell doesn't really produce running backs. Like, we don't run a ton. despite what they say they want to do. And we'll dive into the running backs here now. That's Aaron Jones, ADP 5'11", going at running back 18, and Ty Chandler, whose ADP is 1303, going at 47. I have Aaron Jones at 24. Like, he's just inside my RB2 range. And even that worries me. Like, I don't know. I don't know about him at 5'11". He's just like Josh Jacobs. Like, if they were going like a round or two or later, I'd be way more in.
I agree.
But
I have Jones at RB24, so past his ADP. You're drafting him, I think, above his ceiling at this point. Like, I'm nothing against Aaron Jones. Like, he's fine. He's a good running back. All these reports about Ty Chandler, they've just been consistent since the start of camp.
I've been saying it.
So I have him at 38, which is decently closer to Aaron Jones than I would have. Where did you say he was going?
Aaron Jones is going 18. Ty Chandler's going 47.
Yeah, so I almost have him 10 spots above his ADP, being Ty Chandler. So.
Yeah, I'd Ty Chandler at 40, and I'd rather, like, a 13th round pick is a throwaway pick. I'd rather shoot for who could be the RB1 in this offense. And I think Aaron Jones' path to success is just dump offs, just like PPR stuff where he gets dumps because Sam Darnold isn't great, and he's just dumping it off to Aaron Jones. Like, I think that is a possibility where Aaron Jones is just really ineffective, but he gets like Alvin Kamara last year, where he's just getting like behind the line targets and just getting cheap catches.
I mean, he was kind of doing that in Green Bay, dude. Like, he had 59 catches, almost 60 catches, and less than 400 yards. So it's like 5 yards a catch. Like, he's getting a ton of like checkdowns, like 59 catches, 52, 47, 49. And then last year he only had 30, but that was only in 11 games. So he's kind of like a checkdown guy, but I think Ty Chandler is going to take some of that work. So
yeah, the thing is, in like Green Bay, nobody like AJ Dillon wasn't cutting into the passing game work for Aaron Jones, whereas Ty Chandler is a really gifted pass catcher. So like now you got to rely on Aaron Jones as a runner, where I just don't see him being as effective. Like, I'd rather just take the dart throw on Ty Chandler in the 13th round, and if he doesn't hit, cool, it's my 13th round pick. Whereas if I take Aaron Jones in the 5th or 6th, I'm looking at like, oh, that's like a starter in my lineup that I will have to find a replacement for.
He's also not like a big touchdown guy. The last 3 years, it's 2, 2, and 4. So like the last 3 years total, he's had 8 touchdowns. That's not a lot. Like, that's not what you want for a fantasy running back.
I think people get lost in the sauce of the that one season where he was like RB2 behind Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he's had great seasons, and at one point he was a really good fantasy option. He's still going around 5, you said?
Yeah. Yep.
I hate that, dude. That's gross.
Yeah. Like, he's going to the back end of the 5th, even in the 6th. I don't really want him. Like, if I could get him as a flex guy, that's when I'm comfortable with Aaron Jones in my lineup. I don't want him to be my second running back. And in some scenarios, he could be your RB1 if you go 0 RB, and I don't want him to be in a 0 RB build, because I feel like you're just attached to him, that like you have to play him.
Yeah. I'm pretty much out on Aaron Jones around his ADP, but like you said, if you can get him 2 rounds later, sure, it's worth a shot. But that's just not how it's going right now. So,
yeah. All right, final team in the division, a little more exciting. Huge offseason for these guys. They're on hard knocks.
Yes, sir.
They've been vibing. The Chicago Bears, last year, they finished 7-10. Excuse me. Plus 275 to win the division. That puts them at 3rd. Projected win total that matches the Green Bay Packers. That's 9.5. Oh, Minnesota. Bold prediction. It has 0 fantasy relevance because I can't come up with one unless you play a defense, and it's DJ Turner. Dallas Turner breaks the rookie sack record of Javon Curse, which is 14.5.
A lot of sacks.
He's a good football player.
He is. He is.
Brian Flores is gonna. There's the excitement of I can't wait to see Dallas Turner this year. That's what I'm most excited for, Minnesota. All right, back to the Bears.
Back to him real quick. But kids that aren't good at football don't go to Alabama. That's the rule. So of course he's good. That's the rule, dude. So of course he's good at football.
D. Miller went to Alabama.
He bad coaches, dude. He was good in Alabama. You shut up. He went 5th in the draft.
He was good. Drake Kirkpatrick.
Fucking dog, dude. What are we talking about?
All right, Chicago Bears. 7-10 last year, like I said, projected win total 9.5. A little rich for me. They were 27th in passing. Props Justin Fields. Second in rushing. Props Justin Fields. Now that guy's gone. That guy is in Pittsburgh. Go listen to the AFC North episode. You'll hear us talk about Justin Fields. Caleb Williams is now in, first overall draft pick. His current ADP is going at the 905. QB 12. Hey,
That's crazy.
If you want to do it, because the dude's looked. He's made some great plays in preseason. I'd rather take Jaden Daniels just because of the rushing upside, but I think there's also a world where like you pass on Caleb Williams, you're just like, I should have fucking taken that guy. Like he was the first pick. Like I'm way lower on Caleb Williams just because of historical purposes. Rookie quarterbacks aren't always productive. I have him as my QB 20.
I have him 23. So.
Oh wow, I'm surprised you're lower on him. But this dude that could easily be the Bears' greatest quarterback in franchise history, and that's not really saying a lot. But like it could happen after this season.
It's going to be after this, not this season, next season. There's going to be 2 seasons in Chicago, and he's going to be the greatest Bears quarterback of all time. It is what it is. The kid's great.
The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer. He's going to do that a bunch.
Oh yeah, definitely. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up pulling it off this year somehow.
Yeah, so like I'm out on his ADP, but I also understand if you want to just live life dangerously and do it, because like the talent is there.
Well, okay, never mind then. I was gonna say, he reminds me a lot of Baker last year, but Baker finished QB 10 apparently, so that's pretty crazy. So maybe, hey man, maybe him going top 12 is fine.
Like I said, I get it. I
he's
just
exciting.
Rather,
he's a fully touchdown dependent, is what he really is. So he falls into the categories all those other guys, and I trust a whole bunch of those other guys more.
Yeah, so I agree, but
I think in a couple weeks he's probably gonna finish around my QB 20, around where you have him. He's not gonna get higher than that though, dude. Like he's not gonna be anywhere near his ADP.
But if I like I would consider like if him and Jaden Daniels were flipped, like Jaden Daniels is going later, even though you and I are way higher on Jaden Daniels.
I'm extremely high on Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
Like if I can get Caleb Williams where I'm getting Jaden Daniels, and I can do like pair Caleb Williams with Jared Goff or with Tua or even like Trevor Lawrence, I'd be way more content with that. Like if I'm taking him at QB 12, I feel like I'm taking him to be the only quarterback on my roster, and I'm not there yet with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, he's going really early, and I agree. I would rather him as like my backup high-end potential quarterback to like a lower-end QB1 guy that you ended up drafting, but that's not how the ADP's going. People are extremely high on him, and I get it. Like, people tried to bank on the Mahomes thing, and his first year as a starter, he was going like round 15. I remember telling Bill to pick him in that fantasy draft, and I won him a championship. So, like, people aren't trying to let that happen again, so they're just bumping his ADP up in just hopes on what it can be.
Yeah.
And he has the talent around him to easily do this. So let's get into that talent. Baby.
Yeah, let's talk about the running backs, because they're a little more boring than the receivers, because the receiving options are fun, and I'd rather end with the receivers than end with DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson, and Khalil Herbert. Herbert and Roschon, the two backups, they're not being drafted. In scenarios where they are, Herbert's going at RB58, Roschon's going at RB63. I'd rather, if I've drafted one of them, I'd rather go with Roschon. Like, he provides more passing game upside and a little more explosive than Herbert. And then DeAndre Swift, also rich. He's going as the RB21 at the 606. I feel like somehow the Lions, who have the best running backs, also have the best ADPs for running backs. Like, somehow the Lions are the best rushing attack. Their ADPs aren't really being boosted, but Jacobs, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift are getting a slight bump, and I want no part of it. I have DeAndre Swift. I have notoriously been a DeAndre Swift hater. Like, we flipped. Like, I liked him in Detroit, and then he went to Philly, and I was like, I'm out. I don't like this guy. And you were like, I love him. I'm so in. And I'm just still out. I have him at RB27, and even that, like, I'd rather take the guys I have under him, just because, like, I feel they provide more. Like, I'd rather take Brian Robinson, who I have at 28, than DeAndre Swift.
As I'll take 28. I have him at 26, so I have him right around where you have him. And I like Swift. I don't see the opportunity he had like he did in Philly. I think that Johnson and Herbert are going to be used. It's just going to be in like a bad way. Like it's not going to ideally be good for anybody when they're on the field. But Roshan is like a huge team guy. He's a great locker room guy. Coaches love Roshan. And for some reason, Herbert's still on the team. Like Khalil Herbert's just always been there, and he's like a bear for life at this point. I don't understand what's going on.
He's only played for like 3 years.
Yeah, but somehow he's got tenure, dude. It doesn't make sense. Like he's a 60-year-old professor.
He is tenured in this running back room. Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's fucking insane what's going on with Herbert.
They do love Khalil Herbert so much that they let David Montgomery walk.
Exactly. And look at that. Monty's in Detroit ripping it up for fucking double-digit touchdowns.
This is actually legitimately his 4th year.
Yeah, he's young.
I was big sarcastic. I thought he played. I thought he was on the same amount of years as David Montgomery.
No, he's young, dude. Like and it's crazy. He feels like he's been playing forever. I don't understand why he's still there.
DeAndre Swift will be a Minnesota Viking at some point and a Green Bay Packer. Like
he's gonna bang out that division.
Isn't it funny how like all the running backs in this division just like stay there? David Montgomery, Detroit to Chicago.
Oh, that's true. Aaron Jones, Green Bay to Minnesota.
Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift
swapping running backs. Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, we got wife swap, but it's running back swap over here in the NFC North.
Bunch of freaky shit going on.
I'm out on DeAndre Swift. I just don't see a lot of upside. Like he had a ton of carries inside the 5 last year. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, tush push," but like the dude had like the second most carries inside the 5. He couldn't get it to the end zone, which got Jalen Hurts the tush push.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift was the best running back at getting down at the 1 yard line. Yeah. Like he was amazing at it last year. And as a guy who had Hurts last year, dude, I love DeAndre Swift. I loved every moment of it. But hey, man, he had crazy games though in Philly. He did.
But this is his 3rd team in 3 years. Like, I don't know. He gives me the ick. I hate that word, but like, no. Like, I think DeAndre Swift it's on my permanent do not draft list. Like, no disrespect, but like a disrespect. I just, he's gross.
He's going a little bit too early for my liking, but I have him close to his ADP. I just have him a couple spots below. But the ceiling, I guess, could be there if Khalil Herbert ends up sucking, which he's going to. Surprise, surprise. We'll talk about it next year when he's still with the Bears. And
contract here. He might not be there.
He'll get one. They'll get a second one. Don't worry.
They'll franchise him.
And then Roshan, he's a good teammate, but maybe he's just not the guy. He was the backup to Bijan,
cool
so maybe
I'm cool with Roshan in Dynasty. Like he's a guy to stash up, but like redraft, he has no value unless DeAndre Swift gets hurt.
Yeah, I agree. And to be fair, Swift has been relatively helpful. Yeah, he was healthy last year, right?
Yeah, his early years in Detroit, he was always like banged up.
Yeah,
but now he was fine last year.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing: like DeAndre Swift's going at the 606, Jaden Reed's going at the 611.
Oh yeah.
In what world am I taking DeAndre Swift over Jaden Reed?
In a world you need a running back because you only drafted one so far.
I'd rather just wait and draft like Javonte Williams.
Oh yeah, give me Mostert in the 8th, dude. Like, what are we talking about here?
Both those guys going after DeAndre Swift, I have them well above him in my rankings.
Yeah, dude, I have Mostert at like RB 18 or something like that, and Javonte at 21 or something. So yeah, they're both above Swift.
So again, like the running backs in this division,
AFC guys, get out of AFC. We're not talking about AFC guys.
Yeah, but DeAndre Swift again, just like Aaron Jones, just like Josh Jacobs, I hate their ADP. Mm-hmm. I would much rather them like 2 rounds later. Like if I get DeAndre Swift in the 8th, he probably gives me less ick, and I'd be like, okay, I'll take him.
Yeah, I agree. If you want to back up these guys' ADPs, because that's where I have them all after their ADPs. So like even Gibbs and Amani, I have a few spots back behind their ADPs, but they're closer than these other guys, which are well far and few between, especially Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs, dude. They're way past their ADPs.
Yeah. All right. The wide receiving pass catchers. We'll start with the tight end. We'll get the one out of the way. That's Cole Kmet. He was fine last year. He was really good.
Yeah, he was actually really good last year.
Yeah. Justin Fields, Tyson Bagent, or whatever his name is, they were looking his way after DJ Moore. His ADP, he's going at 1109 at the tight end 16. So well below where he finished last year. And that's because of the wide receiver room and how deep it is. Kmet is one of those guys, like if I do take TJ Hawkinson, I'll take Cole Kmet. Just on the fact, like, he could be the third option still in this offense passing game and still be relevant. And you're looking at a draft day steal in the 11th round.
Mm-hmm. Where do you have him ranked?
I have him at 16.
I have him 17.
Oh, that's where he's at. That's where he's at. Hold on. I ain't right my ranking. I actually have him below that. I have him at 17.
That's where I have him. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm cool taking him around his ADP. Like, he had a really good season last year, but the problem is there's just so many more options. Like, even with Swift coming into town, he's going to take a bunch of the work away. And then they added Rome in the draft, top 10 pick, dog, one of my favorite receivers, my receiver 2 in the draft class last year. And then they added Keenan Allen, who was amazing last year when he played. Like, he was phenomenal last year.
Top 5 in average points per game, if you stat that out. But
yeah, Keenan Allen was like phenomenal last year, like, top tier.
Yeah, Cole Kmet falls into a situation where, like, yeah, he had a great year last year, but again, deep receiving room, also a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So there are concerns there, but like, there's also a world where like Cole Kmet ends up being fine again, and he has a tight end 1 finish, and you're just like, I should have just stuck with what he did last year, but I'm not projecting it that way. But he is one of those guys, like I said, with Hawkinson. Like, if I'm taking Hawkinson and I have an IR spot, Cole Kmet is in that list of guys that I would piggyback onto my roster to start week 1. Because I got a good matchup week 1, the Chicago Bears do. They're playing Tennessee, so they could score a bunch of points. Like,
for sure,
Caleb Williams could come out his first game and be quarterback 1.
Yeah, like, I think it's safe to say DJ Moore is locked in as the one. They paid the dude a ton of money.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's a rental, but so like Cole Kmet realistically could be the second option week 1, just based off Caleb Williams. Not like, we don't know who it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen's a super safe receiver. He's just he knows what to do. He knows how to help a rookie quarterback. He did it with Herbert. He's going to do it with Caleb Williams. So I think Cole Kmet's going to be fine, but he's going to finish around his ADP.
Is there a chance? We'll go into the receivers. So DJ Moore, ADP 312, going at receiver 19. Keenan Allen, ADP 604, going at wide receiver 30. Rome Odunze, ADP 609, going at wide receiver 33. So Rome's is high, and we like Rome Odunze. Dude. Like you said, he was your number 2 receiver in the draft cycle. He was my number 3. Hey, Nick, who was your number 3?
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, how do you feel about that guy now?
The situation, great. Yeah. I still think Rome can have a better career. Yes. What are we talking about here?
Well, we'll talk about Neighbors next week. You talk about Neighbors now because he's on the Giants. I'm lying. I'm going into this right now. Like, I was talking about him during the draft cycle, like, oh, Malik Neighbors, he's as good as Marvin Harrison, and you guys are like, you're pushing in. I've heard you say the best rookie receiver in the league, referring to Malik Neighbors. Like, we somehow switched roles because, like, I'm so in on Marvin Harrison, and I'm still in on Malik Neighbors, but, like, you're way in on Malik Neighbors, and you're out on Marv.
I actually have them ranked almost back to back at wide receiver 18 and wide receiver 20. I have Marvin 18, Malik at 20. Man, he's a Giant, dude. I gotta hype my boy, baby. What are we talking about?
We'll really jump into Malik Neighbors. All right. DJ Moore, like I said, he's going at wide receiver 19. I have him at 18, so pretty much equal. Keenan Allen going at 30. I have him at 34. Rome Odunze is the one where, like, he's so tough to, like, pan out. Like, 33 feels really rich for the third option on a team with a rookie quarterback. Like, right now I have Rome at wide receiver 52, and, like, I feel like I'm just super disrespecting this dude.
52. So I have DJ at 19, which is ADP. Allen at 34, little behind his ADP, 4 spots. I have Rome at 44, which is 12 spots behind.
Like, I have Rome projected 56 receptions, 806 yards, and 6 touchdowns, which is a great year.
That's a great year, for sure.
Like, but what I was going to say before I dove into their ADPs, like, is there a chance that, like, the Bears go the Texans route, whereas Tank Dell was CJ Stroud's dude, and it got him on the field?
Mm-hmm.
Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams have this romance.
And you can
And
already
like
see
this,
it. It's
this is my
every
bold prediction that Rome Odunze fades out Keenan Allen and he becomes the number 2 receiver on this team.
every time Caleb has broken out of a play in the preseason, he only looks Rome's way. Like every deep ball is going to Rome's way. He trusts Rome already. Like Rome's going to be his option next year. Like it's locked in. I'm confident next season Rome's the wide receiver 1 on this team.
And Rome was really good at that stuff in college. Like when the play broke down, and Penix didn't have a lot of those plays because he had a great pocket. But like if there was ever anything unscripted, Penix was immediately just chucking the ball to Rome Odunze. And he's great on those off-script plays, and that's especially of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams thrives in off-scripted situations.
Yeah, like Caleb's doing the Caleb stuff that he did in college, and it's going to Rome, which is phenomenal watching. You've seen it last week. They had a play in their game. Caleb held him on the outside run, deep ball to Rome. And Rome's a great contested receiver. Rome's great at everything. There's not a thing he can't do. So next season, I'm going to be extremely high on Rome. Yeah. It's just that Keenan Allen, I'm not fading him out. Like, he didn't take a step back last year.
He did not.
He was phenomenal, and I think he's just going to be super safe receiver. I do have them closer than what I kind of think, but 52 though, TJ, is kind of crazy, brother.
Hey, like, it's just how, like, the numbers, like, if I read you his numbers, I think people would be like, that's a really good year for the number 3 receiver for a rookie quarterback.
There's no way all 3 finish at ADP. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Rome Odunze, like, I may have him at 52 just based on my projections, but, like, I would have him in a different tier than, like, the guys I have going around are Jameson Williams. I would take Rome Odunze over him in a heartbeat. Brandon Cooks, no thank you. Darnell Mooney, Like, I think Mooney has upside, but, like, I'll take Rome Odunze. Xavier Worthy, I probably have them in the same tier, just because, quarterback play. Cortland Sutton, I'd rather take the upside on Rome Odunze. Like, I just feel Cortland Sutton's just kind of a guy. I have Mike Williams at 47. I don't even know how that happened. I would take Rome Odunze over Mike Williams, and I love Mike Williams. Like, I just think it's a matter of, like, he's the 3, and that's what happened. But, like, I have him in the same bucket as probably the guys above him, which would be wide receiver 40 down to him, are probably near each other in a tier, where I was like, okay, I would take Rome just based off upside. And I don't know, part of me believes like he's going to be the 2. Like, I think Rome Odunze, it's going to be it could be the back half year, because that's when rookie receivers thrive. Like, Rome Odunze could be a league winner.
That wouldn't surprise me. Like, there's nothing. The ceiling for Rome is the ceiling with Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
Like, he is in the level of talent as these 2 guys, and people need to not forget that.
Yeah.
Like,
the problem
just because he's the 3
those guys
on this
have
team,
no one in front of him.
And that's the problem. Like, if it was just Caleb Williams and Rome on this team, Rome would be drafted the exact same spot as Malik Neighbors. Like, he would be going in the 4th round, 5th round.
He'd be a top 24 receiver.
100%. Yeah. So, like, the talent for Rome is there, but the problem is the talent for DJ Moore and Keenan Allen is still there.
Yeah, so you're drafting Rome with a 609. Like I said, he could be a league winner. Like, I think his second half of the year is going to be incredible.
It's going to be great.
Draft him at the 609. He's a flex guy at that point, so, like, then you got to sit on him. And sometimes you can't afford to do that. You don't always get that luxury.
I'm not confident starting him as a flex guy to start the year. Like,
yeah, that's that. But he's being drafted as a starter.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I'm not comfortable with that. And we love Rome.
It's such an enigma because he's so talented. Like, we've done mocks where, like, I've picked Rome just to kind of see how my team works out. Like, I usually end up liking it, but, like, I'd rather Rome on my bench. Keenan Allen, like, I think I usually end up shying away from both of those guys at their ADP just because, like, I just like guys going around. Like, I'd rather take the shot on Jaden Reed, who's going after them. Like, if I'm taking a Bears receiver, I'd rather just take DJ Moore in the 3rd, but at the same time, like, the guys I'm getting in the 3rd, like, I'd rather take Deebo Samuel than DJ Moore. So, like, it's like a conundrum of, like, their ADP is kind of like, I like guys more going around them, but I do kind of want a piece of the passing game for the Bears on my rosters.
The last couple months we've done, I've been trying to experiment more with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. I've been trying to get one of those guys mixed up in my lineup to see how it plays out, and I usually end up liking how it is. I'm fine with both of those guys. I have them right at their ADPs. And then, like we said, I have Rome 12 spots behind his ADP. But like you said, back end Rome is going to be phenomenal, dude. Like,
yeah.
So.
All right. Let's predict the division.
Man, oh man. Minnesota last, right? We're locking that in. We're both locking it in.
We're locking Minnesota in at 4.
All right.
I got mine if you want me to go first.
You go, because I really want to put the Bears too, but it's hard.
I'm putting the Bears at 3. I'm putting the Lions at 2. The Green Bay Packers are winning this division. They're going to win the NFC. Like,
I
number
also
one.
have...
They're the number one seed. They're going to be the number one seed in the NFC playoffs, in my eyes. I hate it that the Packers just keep doing it, and they're likable somehow this year. Like,
it's because all 4 of the receivers are great. Jordan Love is way more likable than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is insane. I'm also putting Green Bay at the top, dude. Like, it's.
I thought I was coming in hot because I know you love Detroit.
I'm putting Detroit 2 and Chicago 3.
So we got the same.
All 3 of those teams are making the playoffs.
Okay.
I'm still locking that in that the Bears are making the playoffs.
I don't have the Bears making the playoffs.
I've been high on the Bears when we did our early on predictions. I can see them making somehow a playoff run. I trust Caleb. I trust the weapons. They have a good coaching staff.
They have a great defense. We didn't even talk about that. Their defense
is top tier, dude. Yeah.
They're if you want to do fantasy defense talk, they're one of the defenses I target. Like, I usually change my defense every week because that's the strategy you should use. Don't get attached to a defense unless you
for sure.
You find the league winning defense, like
the
Dallas
Cowboys.
has been
If you get Dallas,
but like the Bears are playing Tennessee week 1, and I know I hyped up the Tennessee offense on the AFC South episode, but chances are, Will Levis loves getting sacked, so there's a chance the Bears have like 7 sacks week 1 and 2 interceptions. And maybe even a touchdown. Like, the Bears are my favorite defense to target. Like, it's a legit defense. I'm actually going to say they don't get their projected win total, which is 9.5. I think they're going under. So 8 to 9 wins. So 9 puts them at a winning record. So 9 and 8, 8 and 9 is where I would have the Bears finishing, and I don't think that's going to get them in the playoffs.
I think they got like 10 wins. I think they can get 10. Detroit's going to be 11, and then I think Green Bay and Detroit are going to be like 11, 12 win teams. They're both going to be really, really fucking good this year.
Yeah, I have the Packers winning the top seed in the NFC, and that obviously means they win the North. So Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota. Yep. I can't wait to talk about this division again next year when J.J. McCarthy's back and there's a little more excitement in Minnesota. The NFC North, like, I despise the team. Like, I do not like Chicago or Green Bay or Detroit. Mm-hmm. But this is such a fun division. Like, normally every year, like, it's so competitive. Like, every team has, like, likable traits to them. If you're looking at it from an outside perspective, like your perspective, like, there's likability everywhere.
Yeah, Detroit, Green Bay, Chicago. Minnesota, before JJ got hurt, looked very exciting, and then Sam Darnold's now going to be your quarterback all year. Yeah.
But I trust Kevin O'Connell. I think
and that's what it comes down to. Kevin O'Connell knows how to run an offense. Any offense ran under Kevin O'Connell is going to be fun to watch. He's a Sean McVay kind of coach, and he knows exactly what he's doing down there.
Yeah, the Vikings will win 6 to 7 games, which is fine. Which I'll take that with Sam Darnold,
100%,
or Nick Mullins, whatever it is. But it does suck that McCarthy got hurt because Jameis Winston gets it. We're winning the division, baby. I'm changing my prediction. Jameis Winston gonna have a first ever 50-20 season.
You 50-50, dog.
Here for it. That'd be fun. All right. That wraps up the NFC North. Later this week, we dive into your division, the NFC East.
Oh yeah, baby boy.
Less fun, but there's some guys. I love Jaden Daniels. We're going to talk more about Malik Neighbors, and we've talked about those guys throughout the cycle. But and then some interesting
Dallas
characters.
Has options. Philly's stacked through and through, dude. I love Philly.
Yeah, I can't wait to bust out my bold prediction for the Eagles. Oh,
Yeah,
I cannot wait.
It's gonna be wrong. I can already tell you that.
Wait. Here we go. All right, guys. Drafted Up Podcast. You know where to find us. Twitter at @draftedup_pod. YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Search Drafted Up Podcast. We'll be there. Rate, like, subscribe, review, word of mouth. Do the thing. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Tell someone in the traffic jam next to you. You guys are just bopping out. Listen to the podcast. Put it on for your pets, and so they have something to listen to while you're gone, and they think you abandoned them. All right, guys. It's been real. That's the NFC North. Stay tuned later this week. We'll do the NFC East. We
Yes,
out,
sir.
y'all. Adios.
Bye.